There you are. Young girl cry. Yeah, he did. What up, y'all? How are you? It's your boy Gerald. It is the 4th the 4th of December, 2014. How are you? I hope everything's good. I hope that your week is as you envision it. And if by chance you had some things come up, I hope that you stayed grounded and didn't compromise yourself and you were able to see yourself through it. So how's everybody doing? Alright? Doing okay? You better. Come on now. You know it's an injustice for anything or anyone to take your smile. That's your God-given gift. That's what helps define who you are. So, I'm going to put this out before I start my day. It's kind of overcast here in Virginia Beach, but you know what? We're in fall, right? Things that don't last are supposed to fall. But guess what? Even when they fall, it's preparation for what's to come. Everything comes full circle. So, where are you in that circle? Are you grounded? Or are you barely holding on for life? Is your life up and down? You don't understand if you're coming or going, and you're just trying to make sense of it all? Now is the time that you ground your feet. Just know where you are right now is intended. What you're seeing is intended, good or bad, because we all have free will. You're a human being, but you're a spiritual being first. I know my higher power is my Lord Jesus Christ, but I am also humbled to know that He is one of many names. So, gravitate. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, to have a connection with Him, because He's waiting on you. Because guess what? All things are through Him. He is the one that has the keys that have your destiny written on. So, depending when you're ready to receive the blessings intended, because it has your name on it, will you get to where you intended. But just know this: the person that you are, I hope somebody hears this. The person the person you are right now, the choices that you make, the person that you're going to become, or the reality of the choices that you're making right now are depending on if you have sound mind. But if you're taking life and looking at life like it's a reality TV show, you know how they use the disclaimer, made for TV? Because it's not made for life, because it's nothing but an illusion. So don't get swept up on the things you see. If it's not tangible, if it's not meant for you, it's not going to last. Don't let your heart be a casualty. Don't let your body be another one etched in someone else's memories. Because you weren't brought on this planet for that. And guess what? You won't even see your purpose until you decide to see who you are. So you gotta have courage. You've got to have courage to speak your truth. You've got to be strong to go within. You've got to do this, y'all. Because life is not going to play out like you think it's going to play out, or how you think you see it in the movies, or how you find it in the magazines, or how you see it here on YouTube. Because trust and believe, the things you find even here, about 75% of it is not what the person is. Come on now, real recognizes real. So, let me flip it. The reason I'm putting this video out because I feel it in my spirit. You know me. I always put God first in everything I do. Even if that means I gotta stand by myself, because I don't lean on my understanding, I lean on His guidance. And as long as I know that my higher power, I know Him as my Lord Jesus Christ, He's got my best interest, I'm not worried about it. Because I know everything that is intended is custom tailored for Gerald Davis. Shouldn't your life be the same? If you're in a position where you're feeling like you're pulling teeth just to feel validated, if you're feeling that you got to go beyond the call of duty just because you want your voice to be heard, let it come from inside. Let it come inside. You know how they say, it's not what you say, it's what you do. But make sure what you say and what you do correlates, because that's what defines being authentic, not assertive. Come on. I know that needs to go out to somebody. But the reason I'm putting this out, y'all, because, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry because I'm being rude. Well, why I'm saying being rude? Because I'm so passionate in conveying this message, I failed to convey what I need to convey first. I want to thank you for just taking a second out of your life just to hear what I got to say. I just hope that whatever you receive, first of all, it comes from spirit. I don't write nothing down. I'm a vessel just like you. But I believe that whatever comes from me will find the intended ear. It will touch the intended heart, because that is your validation. I'm validating that you either tracking on the right path or you're not. But you deserve to be on the right path, because guess what? Where you may be or where you've gone from, guess what? You're not the only one. There are over 6.5 billion people on this planet speaking multiple languages. Do you actually think that you're the only one that are dealing with situations of emotion? Huh? Do you actually believe that? Well, you're wrong. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to feel protected. You deserve to feel emotionally safe. And you deserve to speak your truth. But none of these things can be made a reality until you make the conscious decision to remove that fear. You know, I say about fear is finally everything is a reality. And I believe that a lot of people are seeing what fear is all about, because it's being manifested in their life. They're going through struggles. They're going through pitfalls, and they're starting to reevaluate their bonds, their connections with their families, their friends, and their associations. They're starting to see it, and they're at a position right now that you know what? I feel this in my spirit. Somebody's, yeah, you need to breathe. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Because you deserve to be happy. Your life should not feel like it's a sacrifice. You shouldn't feel like that you've got to do a plea bargain just to feel like you matter in this world. No. Somebody gave you some bad information. That's why I'm going to keep telling you, my kings and queens, do not worry about the people that come and go out of your life. But it is required that you have some empathy. You have some compassion, because I'm going to tell you what, we as a collective do not learn on the same level. We do not. Hold on one second, I got a client right here. Never mind. But guess what? Because of that, you should show a little bit of empathy, a little compassion, because guess what? Just as I always convey, somebody prayed for me. Somebody. I may never know. But I'm glad they did. Because they brought me out of the darkness. They helped me see how my perceptions were off tilted. And when I was going through experiences in my life, I'm talking about in a collective scope, y'all, I started to reassess. And as I started to reassess and go deep in myself, because only I can do that. I don't need permission for someone to validate who I am, because I know who I am. I'm a man that loves God. I trust God. And He has my heart. And it's a big one. But I also know my worth and I know my value. So I don't need anybody to complete me. See, that's one of the mantras that society wants to convey, because that is nothing but a codependent mindset. Yes, we all would like to have a sense of belonging. Who doesn't? But guess what? Shouldn't that sense of belonging be equal? And that's what I just described as being yoked. What I'm describing is being like-minded. It shouldn't feel like you've got to strong-arm someone to be heard, to be respected, to be understood. If you are in that, guess what? It's not your struggle, but it'll be their loss. Trust when I say that. So you know why they say all the time, kill them with kindness. Because as long as you standing in your truth and you doing what is best for you, guess what? Even though right at that moment you may feel that your world is coming crashing down, actually what you're seeing is the validation intended. I know somebody right now said, well, Gerald, how am I going to see validation when the person that I love is walking out the door never to return? I'll explain. Maybe at that moment, when you don't see it, maybe that is the beginning from an ending. You know, I'm a firm believer of this, y'all. Because when doors close, doesn't mean they're locked. Maybe what is happening is that door is closed to the way that mindset is, the way of thought. Think about it that way. Maybe you're the one that are closing the door, and you realize, you know what? I have allowed myself to come to a junction point where I have to make a decision. Do I have to walk on this path by myself and feel for the first time in your life what being whole is, or do I have to hold and toe the line to someone else to only live in pain? That's not what you're supposed to do. That's not what you're supposed to do, y'all. Come on, my queens. My kings. I'm going to say this, and if I offend someone, I'm sorry. But if it resonates too deep, maybe there's something you might want to assess that's not working in your life. Only you can answer that question. My kings. For those of you that are in relationships or socially dating, if you have someone that is in your midst, that the only way that you are communicating with them is because they expect you to do something, or it seems like it's one-sided, you're not supposed to be with them. Because you guys are not like-minded. You're not on the same path. So therefore, y'all can't grow. I'll flip it again. My queens. If you have someone in your life, and the only time they come around is because they're doing this, or they're doing a test drive on what a wife is, instead of defining what a husband should be, you need to take a step back and check your boundaries. For my kings and queens, if you have people that you call friends, as well as those you consider associates, you need to reassess your priorities and those who have access to your life. Because what's the difference between a friend and an associate? Do you know? Do you know? See, with a friend, which is a sacred word, will never judge you. They will always tell you the truth. They will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. An associate is only there for the ride. They're basically interviewing for your fellowship. But why have associates when you really want people in your life that's going to enhance your growth? So who's taking the loss in that? Who's wasting the time trying to survey it all? You are. Because you're giving access to people that, unfortunately, will not speak their truth. They're just waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of your kindness. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. But you got to have the courage to speak your truth. Now, I know somebody's saying right now, well, Jerry, let me tell you something. First of all, what you hear in the background are the jets. I live some far, the flight pattern for the jets happens to be right where I'm at, but they fly, you know. But like they say, that's the sound of freedom. So bear with me. I apologize if that's noisy. If you're in a position where you're not being truly respected, you don't feel that you're being understood, you're feeling that to have this association, this bond, this tie is costing you more, why are they there? What did they do or say that allows you to say, okay, maybe by chance these people are actually able to see where you lack or you're insecure, and they're using that as a weapon. You ever thought about that? Because you're not supposed to be somebody's mother. You're not supposed to be someone's father to teach them how to grow. They should already be equal with you, and you're both supposed to be walking in a direction with an end goal. That's why I always convey to each and every one of you, look, if you're not speaking your truth, you're delaying your happiness. Maybe now is the time that you go back. Take a sabbatical. Listen, when it comes to your heart is the most precious commodity that you possess, because it's connected to your spirit. And you have some people that they only want to taint it. They only want to see you in the most dim light. They don't want you to come into who you're destined to be. And they're, see? Thanks, Pop. Hey, look, it's not easy living in this world. You know, bad behavior is celebrated and good behavior is laughed at. But guess what? Those same people that are laughing are going to be the same people who are going to be crying. And they're going to be the same people wishing they could hear you breathe. That is why it's required that you continue on your path. Now, being on that path does not give you a pass for bad behavior. Does not give you a pass for revenge. Does not give you a pass to be spiteful or manipulative. When you embrace those choices, guess what? You're basically saying that you don't want your blessings to come in. Don't worry about what they've done. Don't worry about it. Because what you may fail to realize, excuse me, I got to line up, is, see, they showed you who they are at that moment. There ain't nothing but the devil trying to block what I'm saying because I'm speaking truth. See, but guess what? It is your responsibility to take in what is being revealed. Like I said, your friends only want you to grow and be happy with you. They're like their validation to whatever your state of mind is. So if your state of mind is nothing but impulse, or it's like life is nothing but a party but no responsibility. Well, guess what? Ain't it time to grow up? Come on now. You got to look at it. If something, God forbid, was to happen, you was in a hospital, who would show up for you? Who would be there when you needed the most? Your friends would. Or better yet, the people that love you. I bet you some of you right now got people that you love, but because of your pride and ego, you wouldn't speak your truth and make amends. But deep down inside, you think about it. Your heart pity pats for them, and you wish wherever they are, they're okay. Well, you can't walk with this person until you both share a like-minded position to grow. Do you realize how many people on this planet wish they can go back in time to speak their truth and undo some of the choices they made? But because they allowed their environment, the people that were in it, or the situations that were derived from fear and ego to divide them? Don't be that person. Because you know what happens to those people? They become rigid, they become bitter, and they become alone. They go through life alone. You wasn't born on this planet to live your life alone. Now I'm already breaking 23, so I got to get to the gist of what I want to say, and I'm going to shut this up because I got to start my day. We're a couple weeks away from the new year, 2015. For those that are following numerology, that is an 8 year. That year is very special to me because, as you already know, under numerology, I'm an 8. But I was born on the 7th day of March. That's why I'm a Pisces. So next year for me is going to be very pivotal. You guys are going to watch me grow and transform, and I'm going to be right there with you guys, and I'm going to live the example. And because I know that what God has intended, or your higher power as you know him to be, wants only the best. But I also know this, I got to let everybody know this. Next year, some of you have associations with people that are holding you back. And you can't take them where you're going. Some of you've got ties on a sexual nature. And you wish that it would be on an emotional level. But I'm here to tell you, they're holding you back. Some of you are in situations where having sleepless nights are the norm. Well, you're going to embrace those next year, but guess what? There's going to be a price with that. The person that you're destined to be will not have the same footprint or signature, life signature that you have now. So what I'm trying to say to you is now you need to start to change your mindset that you're going to let some people go. And the sooner you do that, the better off you'll be, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But when it happens, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because I keep telling you, an imposter don't need your help to expose themselves. Because you do realize this world, people walk around with masks on, and they're not the people they really are underneath. That's why people that suffer from neurological disorders, like being bipolar, schizophrenic, sociopathic, or narcissist. They are prominent right now. But I believe that you're entering that period where you're going to say to yourself, I deserve better. I know what good feels like. I know what feeling emotionally safe feels like. And I got to get to it. And when you decide to do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see your purpose too. Because, okay, for you to see your purpose, it must be fueled by your passion. But your passions is nothing but an extension of what being compassionate is. And when anything that has a passion to it, you would do it for free because it's like air. It's natural. You find enjoyment without being compensated because it is who you are. It is part of your essence, your definition of self. Well, 2015, the person you are is not going to stand for that. You're going to look at it and take a position that may be perceived as being assertive, but you're going to have a position where you're going to ground your feet and you're going to willing to defend what you hold dear. Just make sure what you hold dear is willing to defend it with you. And unfortunately, there are going to be some people, some situations, some of y'all are going to walk away from your job. Or unfortunately, the job is going to end. I don't wish bad on you, but I'm here to tell you, if that does occur, where you are intended to be, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Don't stress on what goes on in your environment. Stay the course, no matter what. No matter what. Because the more that you turn around and invest in who you are, the you, the real you, the you that no one sees, the you that wakes up and wipes the coal from your eyes and brushes those pearly whites, the you that feels that heartbeat. That's exactly what you're going to do next year. You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh because you're going to be like, what was I thinking? Why did I turn around and allow this person such an impact in my life when in reality you knew that they weren't ready to grow. Now, keep in mind when I say this, if you do choose to close doors or doors closed without your help, embrace it, because that just gives you more ample time to focus on yourself. And if it's divinely meant, you'll see them again. But just make sure when you do see them, they fit the bill. And I'm not talking from a material sense. I'm talking from an emotional point, from a spiritual point, because those things you'll already know from the time you come in contact. You'll know right off the bat, you know what? It'll be like I told somebody before, you will either know it in two forms. It'll be a validation or a distraction. And you got to make a choice on what is important to you. Make sure that your happiness, who you are, what you stand for, is not compromised. The days of taking a position of, well, he'll change, he's not going to change. I don't care what he does behind closed doors. He's not going to change until he sees his worth. That's why some of y'all are in relationships where you know there's no love but a whole lot of sex. If you turn around and there's things that you wish to do and share, and then that person turns around and discards that, like, I ain't got time for that. That's because you ain't supposed to be with them. And really what I'm describing is a karmic relationship or a soul tie. That's why we attract the people we attract. Sometimes you think, well, you know what? That's my soulmate. No, that's your soul tie. And they come into your life to teach you what not to do. They teach you what accountability is for your life. So guess what? You might be in a place where your finances are being beat up right now. But your sex game or your knowledge of your intimacy is on the level of a PhD. Why? Because there's no respect there. So guess what? He's fulfilling every thought that he's seen. Probably saw it online or anything that he can fathom, and you're going along with it. So you're basically playing the role, not living the life. That's not fair to you. But here's a bigger thing, and I'm gonna shut this down. Every time that you allow these people access to your life, you know what happens? Yeah, they laugh at you. Look, I got me a live one. But what happens is you're more exposed to their bad habits, and that's more that goes into that emotional baggage, that emotional backpack called burden. But also what happens is your higher power, as I know him as my Lord Jesus Christ, he looks down because he knows what you're going to do before you do it. You can't outthink God, and you can't box with him. That's a play. But what will happen is he'll say, well, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to make it perfectly clear where you need to go. Now, we have free will. So you got to make a choice on which direction to go. Because I'm going to tell you what, that devil, he's like a lion in the brush, waiting to steal, kill, and wreck your life, if not take it. You can't do that. That's why discernment. Go within yourself. What are you afraid of? That you'll be happy? You're afraid that if you decide to love yourself, you're going to lose your friends? Well, they're not your friends anyway. They're using you. They're using you. You're a resource that they don't have the courage to do on their own. That's why when you go to confide in them, they always talk in a negative context. They do that because they want to keep you confused. They want to keep you controllable. They want to keep you manipulated until there's nothing left. Don't do that to yourself. But let's bring this back home. You know what also your higher power does? Because he will show you and use what he needs to get your attention until it's painfully clear what you need to do and what you don't. But guess what? As long as you do not go within yourself, take accountability for your life, forgive yourself and forgive those who have hurt you. Some of you got so much pain that you have a dark persona, downright evil, because you walk in spite, maliciousness, resentment. And what's so sad and twisted about it, you get off on people's pain. Well, guess what? For those people, you reap what you sow. And what will happen is, people will come into your life. I know them as taskmasters. These people have no empathy. They have no compassion. They are driven to execute the task. And what will happen is, you will learn through pain what not to do. So I hope that is not a choice you wish to go, because there's nothing out. Well, there is something that comes out of it, and I'll leave it alone. This is called a spiritual storm, and what will happen is, you will go through a season that is indefinitely defined in time, and your life will be like in a spin cycle. You won't be able to catch up, no matter how hard you try to flip it and be ingenious or be slick about it to try to get ahead. Because guess what? All things done in the dark come to the light. They have to, because it's going to make you. It's going to force you to be authentic with yourself and take ownership with your life. But more importantly, not to make light of it, Justin Timberlake said it best: "Cry me a river, cry me a river," because you're gonna cry. You're gonna know But each emotion that you possess in your being, because you're alive, feels like, you're going to understand it. You're going to learn to respect it. You're going to learn. I say this to each and every one of you because I've been there. I've been there. And oh, have I we. And when I started to realize that God has control of my life, I don't have control. The only choice I have is free will to discern and follow His path, did my life be made new. And that's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what will happen. So it's very important that you do the work willingly. Because at the end of the day, your higher power is going to get His will. His will. He's going to get it. If you're in a position where you put value over material, you put material wealth over your life essence, guess what'll happen? You'll lose it. You'll lose it. And the more you try to hold on to it, the more quicker it goes. Well, that's going to happen anyway, because if it wasn't purely done, you can't hold on to it anyway. That's how it is. But just know, one, the lesson to learn, everything that you have to go through, because you're going to eventually get back to one. You'll be grateful you went through it, because your life will be made new. Everything will be made new. So, does your life matter? Or is it just something to do? Does your friendships matter? Or are they just someone to do? Only you know those answers. But do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Does the pain and anguish you may be going through right now work the denial that you're keeping from yourself? What are you afraid of? Some of you may be still dealing with the burdens of your upbringing. Some of you may not have a connection with your mother or your father. My queens, why do you think that the relationships you have fail? And they're going to continue to fail. I'm letting you know that. They're going to fail time and time again until you do two things. Number one, be honest with yourself. Number two, forge a relationship with your Father. He is the template of what a man should be. I don't care what his social status is. That is the one man that has unconditional love for you and will tell you the truth, because you're his baby girl. Why wouldn't he? And here's the ironic part. For those who do not have a relationship with their father, guess what? You know that pride, ego, and that stubbornness that you possess? You say, I don't need him. He wasn't there. Well, guess what? Until you decide to submit to your heart and open that door, every man that will come to you will come to you for one thing. And that's to take away what they can. Take your money. Really just use your body up. That's the whole thing. God forbid you contract the STD. It happens. Forge the relationships you need so you can feel emotionally safe. That's why I tell you all the time. I gotta catch myself because I broke 40. Listen, you're not gonna find Mr. Right like that, my queens, until you fall in love with yourself and take all the time you need to get you right, get your mind right. Guess what? All you're gonna do is attract Mr. Right Now. And Mr. Right Now is only gonna use you for a battery, and once the battery goes, guess what? He's gone. So if you've got deception in your heart, you got maliciousness in your heart, spite in your heart, guess what? That's going to be your reality. Everybody who's connected to you are going to have those traits. It's not worth it. Your tears are not worth it. Some of y'all, that's all y'all do is cry, because you're crying because you still won't be honest with yourself. You're fighting a fight that you shouldn't fight. But if you're going to fight, fight for you. Fight for your heart to be appreciated. Come on now. So, I'm going to talk about 2015 in a couple weeks, but I'm letting you know now, when you see it, don't be surprised. Prepare, because your change is going to happen. The person you are now is not going to be the person in 2015. So embrace your heart, ground your feet, and of course, make that connection with Him. If you can sit on a cell phone and talk to people who don't care about you, why can't you have a conversation with Him whenever? You don't have to move your mouth to talk to Him, but you do have to have peace of mind too. You got to be open. Come on now. He's not going to make you. He's not going to make you do anything. All He wants you to do is be safe. He wants you to prosper. He wants you to love you. Some of y'all got some battle scars on your heart, battle scars on your body, and battle scars on your mind. That's why some of y'all hate men. That's why some of y'all think that you can find love on the away team. Let me tell you something. You know how it was written. That's all I got to say on that. Because guess what? More pain. Because you're going against the divine order of your life. So until you decide to make a point to stop being afraid, stop being a sheep, and claim your life, can you find peace of mind. And guess what? When you do this, when you decide to do that, like I said, there's no timeline. What's there is a choice. You have to decide which side you're rolling with. The side that has pain in it, or the side that has peace. Because I'm going to tell you what, the side that has peace, that's where you should be, because you deserve it. Your life is not in vain. But tell me if I'm wrong. How's your life working thus far? You don't deserve that. You deserve to have what is intended, and that's to be safe, happy, and blessed. Okay, guys, I know I've talked a little longer than I wanted to, but I know this needed to go out to somebody, and I hope this resonates in your spirit. You don't have to compromise when it comes to your heart. You just got to claim it. So have courage. Have courage. Have courage. Watch what happens to your boy next year. I'm just putting this out here next. I'm putting it out now so it's chronicalized. I love each and every one of y'all. And if you're going through something and you need some unbiased advice or prayer, don't hesitate. Drop me a line. I would love to hear from you. And one more thing before I go. I'm seriously thinking about doing one of those open chats. I'm having a brain dump right now, but I'm thinking about doing a meet and greet, and I haven't decided when. But I would like to get your opinion if you'd like to do this. This will give you an opportunity, guys, to reach out to me, ask questions, and I would like to make this a forum so everybody can connect. Because isn't the end goal to be happy and live the life intended without any drama? I would hope so, because that's where I'm going. Okay, y'all. As I always say, God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your word. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You ain't got to go through this alone, but you are required to be truthful to yourself. It's time to take that emotional backpack off and claim your life. Stay protected, stay blessed, and of course, I don't know why you won't. You stay you. Love to hear from you guys. Like or don't like. But thank you for stopping by and hearing what I had to say. Stay blessed, y'all. Bye-bye.